The great Geraldo Rivera joins us now. It's time for the Daily Take, and always good to see you, Geraldo, from wherever we are. Today it happens to be in Dubai. Normally, when I say or bring up some sort of a city or country, you have a story. You know, back in X year, I did this in Dubai. I'm sure you have one. But before you give it to us, if you have one, let me at least ask a question, because we have the delay, and you know how this whole thing works. The president is making these comments that Hannah just talked about the war maybe being over earlier than he thought, right? So he says 3, 4, 5 weeks. All right, it's going faster than that. He also said that it's him and Netanyahu together that are going to decide when it's over. How do you see things?
Well, I think that that's obviously correct. It is up to President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu. They started it. I care less about how it started than how it ends. I worry that there's no clear mission designated. Designated, interesting word, designated survivor. Remember that old TV show with Kiefer Sutherland when the whole, government of the United States gets wiped out except for one lowly agricultural secretary who takes over as president, the designated survivor. Now you have Khamenei Jr. We don't know if he has spoken yet. I don't know if, I guess he's alive. I heard he was wounded in the attacks that took out his dad and all the rest of the ruling elites in Iran. But Connell, you have a situation now. You have Iran has no navy. They have no air force. They have a dwindling supply of defensive weapons. Offensively, they've moderated or cut off a lot of their offense because they just don't have any missiles left, or fewer than they did. Drones way down, but still, it seems as if the rotten regime for 47 years of corruption and cruelty, they seem to still be in place. There was the rising of the Iranian civilians a couple of weeks ago. They got mowed down. Thousands were killed, and I think that may have, diminished the appetite for democracy or for an uprising. Now this guy, we don't know much about him. I hear he's very hard line. I'd like to, I assume. That's the problem with it. I assume that he will seize the reins or take the reins or make a speech to his country about how he intends to, conduct this war or end this war, God willing. Now the prices of oil will start to, it's crazy. Price of gas up half $1 already since this thing has started. Yeah. What is our mission? That's my problem now. What is our mission? If this guy is the result of all this effort and the 7 dead and all the rest, I mean, will that have been a victory? I'm not sure, buddy.
Yeah, it's a good point, because the president could decide tomorrow, to say mission accomplished, or he could decide a week from now, say mission accomplished and stop. But there is the then what component to that. And I think there's a question about what Israel would do with that, and whether the two are aligned on everything right now. Anyway, like I was talking to Jonathan Conricus about this last hour, the Israelis going after these oil depots the way they did. I mean, when you have Lindsey Graham telling you might have went too far, that's probably not a great sign. And he did really say as much, that there might be some concerns about how Israel's executing the war, right? So, I mean, I don't know.
Well, I tell you, I do not see the rationale for wiping out the infrastructure, the oil infrastructure in Iran. Presumably, whoever takes over will want to pump the oil and get the country back on its, its economic standing, its footing. But when you have no defenses at all, Iran is just lying there waiting to be ravaged by the Israelis or the Americans. We've hit any target we want. Interestingly, though, and Connell, I'm sure you heard, they say now, international experts on the atomic energy people are saying that there is enriched uranium that survived all of the attacks up until now. That it's maybe as much as you need to create 10 atom bombs. We can't let that out of Iran. They can't let that uranium be smuggled out.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.